All right, good morning. Marhelm morning update here with your favorite shipping streamer, Charles. It was a busy morning this morning in Oslo, so we figured we hop on and discuss some of the news that's coming out. Got my morning coffee here. Let's dive right into it. So apparently today was car carrier day in Oslo. Graham Car Carriers was out with earnings, as was Hoegh Autoliners. So with Graham, earnings were solid, but there was a hidden news in here where MSC has put in a bid for the company. This was, it says here, it was a 28% premium to yesterday's close. So this is, kind of great news for the shareholders of GCC. It's relevant because, one, it shows the importance of the car carrier segment. There's only 3 and likely soon to be 2 publicly traded car carrier companies. So MSC is one of the global liner companies, absolutely massive, remains privately held, but, in 155 countries, 165 offices, 200,000 employees, 800 vessels on the water, absolutely massive behind, Maersk, similar to, CMA and others. So MSC is owned by the husband and wife duo, the Aponte family. A bit of an interesting story where she is an Israeli-Swiss daughter of a banking individual, and he was a ferry captain, fell in love, got married, took out a couple $100,000 loan to buy their first ship, and then the rest is history. The company's been, I won't say controversial, but has definitely been in and out of the news over the years, just given their scale and private nature. But they have a strong reputation for being at the right place at the right time. So clearly their interest in the car carrier segment shows the importance of this segment. So I took this grab from the Oslo exchange this morning. You can see Graham Car Carriers up 25% this morning, 56%. Essentially all the large shareholders of Graham have accepted the deal already. So it's likely that it's going to go through. And so then how does this impact kind of the other names in the sector? So, Hoegh Autoliners, H Auto, was up over 5% this morning. And Huawei also was up a bit more, kind of pulled back, but up 1.7%. So, there's been some discussion in the market, given the strength of the car carrier segment. It's been quite hot since last summer. People are starting to feel like perhaps it was a little bit overdone. This print really shows that there's great interest and need for these vessels. And so, why is the car carrier segment so interesting to folks? Well, one, there's a whole new dynamic in the industry. China is now the big dog in town. They have, as they do with pretty much every sector that they get into, they have started manufacturing vehicles like there's no tomorrow. Essentially, they're making, low cost but well-received vehicles, and they're exporting them around the globe. A lot of even European or Western car manufacturers have facilities in China, including BMW and others. So, in Chile, Africa, Chinese vehicles are essentially all you see these days. Obviously, that's not without some pushback. About a month ago in early March, there was a lot of news about how the EU might essentially put tariffs on Chinese imports. They feel like they are, dropping these goods below market, etc. This is going to be a very interesting dynamic to watch. One, there's the kind of the news story that they're protecting European car manufacturers, but in reality, a lot of European car manufacturers either have facilities in China, or the brand might even be owned by the legacy brand might even be owned by a Chinese entity. Obviously, EU and China are massive trading partners, so it's going to be a difficult one to stop, especially given the attractiveness and the price of some of these Chinese vehicles. So the car carrier segment was so out of favor for so long. There was very little new building in the sector. Now there is a healthy order book, but they have to kind of work through that backlog. These companies are expected to do well. So, Hoegh Auto was out with their earnings today, a very positive report, even though some analysts had recently kind of reduced their earnings estimate. That said, you're looking at these companies they've been able to recontract up over the last year and are continuing to do that into 2024 as rates have skyrocketed given the crunch. And so now you're looking at companies, Hoegh Auto probably will trade around 3x price to earnings and have a 30% yield this year. So, it's a very interesting segment to keep an eye on. And quite the pop in Oslo this morning. In other news in Oslo this morning, MPC Containers was up over 12%. They joined Marhelm yesterday for a market update, so it was great to see. Great to see some folks paying attention and some buying in the shares there. So have a good morning, and we'll check back later.